Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I did not get to do as many videos as I wanted to yesterday because I took my son and a couple of his friends to the Auburn, Arkansas baseball game. And let me tell you, Arkansas is a good team. In fact, last year Arkansas was in the College World Series, and so they beat Auburn like a drum. And then I went straight from there to a friend's house and watched the Auburn game, the NCAA tournament Auburn game against Virginia, and that made me sick to my stomach the way that game ended. Auburn had the game won, and one of Auburn's players fouls a Virginia player at the three-point line, and the guy makes all 3 free throws to win the game. It was bad. So we're not going to talk about that anymore. But I was still impressed and still can't believe Auburn even made it that far because they've never been a basketball team. Okay, from WebSurfology, at WebSurfology, sends me this. National Bank of Cambodia is aiming to be the first central bank in the world to utilize blockchain technology. The National Bank said that blockchain will be incorporated into its national payment system sometime in 2019. Last night, while I was watching that game, I was talking to some guys about digital currencies, and I informed them that there won't be banks in the next 10 or 20 years, brick and mortar banks. Most of it's gonna be banked from your phone, and that may be the case for central banks as well. They may not be centrally controlling near what they thought they would in the long term. Okay, I thought this was an interesting tweet here. From CryptoBU77. What if bull run from 2017, Y number of base pairs, all-time high XRP $3.40. Bull run 2019, there's 972 base pairs, all-time high XRP equals the 972 base pair we have now divided by what there were, and then multiply that times the all-time high. That's a pretty interesting take on it. Now, I don't think it'll be that cut and dry, and I don't think this guy thinks that either, but he does illustrate a point that I keep making, and that is the where we are in terms of adoption and where we are as far as progress with XRP and the things that Ripple is doing. We are so far ahead of where we were during the last bull run. To me, it's almost like how can it not dwarf the previous all-time high? And never forget, folks, that's how crypto has done from the beginning, is each time we go into a bull run, there's a new all-time high, and then it settles down at a new, a higher low than the previous. And it's kind of gone that way ever since it all started. Okay, this is from Michael at VAL5 Links. He sent me this, I believe it's a tweet from XRP Neo. Okay, and that's at XRP_Anderson. He's a really smart guy. Does some great tweets, and this is one of them. Follow this. Interesting line of events. Ripple has a meeting with Swift showing off their tech, hoping for a partnership. Swift shortly after creates Swift GPI because what they saw made them their pants, my belief. The second thing here, R3 and Ripple settles lawsuit. Godfrey, the head of Swift, resigns. He is anti-crypto. R3 shortly after announces Court of Settlers' first settlement mechanism is XRP. Swift shortly after, at stage with Brad, announces Swift GPI will integrate Court of Settler. Then this is what he said, motivation speculation. Ripple shows off their tech to Swift, hoping for collaboration. Instead, Swift decides to create their own system to compete. They realize they are far behind. They realize they can't compete in settlement. Remember failed blockchain testing. Since RippleNet can replace Swift entirely, they decided to use XRP through R3. They do this to have a settlement mechanism. Swift is messaging. This lowers the value proposition of RippleNet by Swift having instant settlement through XRP. 5. Swift hopes it's enough for banks to stay with Swift instead of using only RippleNet. Since Godfrey, in a sense, failed by Swift having to integrate a crypto in the end, he decides to leave. Having this kind of power struggle is great for XRP holders. And I thought that was a really well thought out write-up there, and it makes a lot of sense. Who knows, but it makes a lot of sense. From XRP Euphoria, at Andrew P47809396, one of the psychological hurdles to holding XRP is going to be watching other alts pump while we grow incrementally. Remember, weeds grow faster than oak trees. Which are you invested in? Now, I'll tell you this, folks, having been in this place a few times. Many times I've watched this and I've seen it happen time and time again. XRP will just sit there while a lot of these lesser digital assets will pump and go crazy. Bitcoin Cash is a great example this week. Bitcoin Cash has been going crazy. XRP's been green, but nothing too wild. Well, it sits there, and a lot of people start getting almost angry, and they're looking at it, why is it not doing anything? And they start asking themselves, should I be in these others? And about the time they start asking themselves that they are invested in the wrong thing, they find out they've been right all along, and XRP dwarfs the gains on all of these. Sit tight, folks. Put the big boy pants on. Okay, from XRP James T, at XRP James, he sent me this. And this was a tweet from Dan Rocky, at Dan Rocky. Don't underestimate how big this is for Ripple. RippleNet adoption in India is speeding up. Federal Bank of India officially partners and Ripple to accelerate cross-border remittance and to explore new corridors. India could end up being the leading country for adopting this tech. And this was a tweet from XRP Lawyer. Let me give him a follow. Official intimation by Federal Bank India to BSE and NSE stock exchanges of its partnership with Ripple. Objective for cross-border transaction and to explore new corridors. And this is looks like an actual document from India's federal bank there. All right, let me get rid of these. And next, from this guy's coming on strong. He's been sending me a lot of stuff. Brian Melancholy XRP at Mike Honcho _11 sent me this. Central banks looking to cryptocurrency to replace cash. And this was from at Ant159694954. I wish some of these guys would create a cool screen name. All these numbers drive me crazy. But anyway, this is the article that they were talking about. That central banks, and they mentioned several of them, Canada, England, Singapore, France leading the race. A survey of central banks shows that a majority are collaboratively looking at the implications of a central bank digital currency. Now, folks, back in 2013 when I started in this is the last thing on the planet. These people, they just laughed at digital currencies, and it was a scam, and it was money laundering and all this. Now, they're putting in here top 10 blockchain use cases for central banks. They've literally outlined some use cases for a digital currency for central banks. Cash money supply chain, trade finance, know your customer and anti-money laundering, payment system resiliency and contingency, information exchange and data sharing. I think you get the picture, folks. We've been right all along, and now the central banks are finally realizing it's time to get on board. Then I got this from Leonidas. Give him a follow, definite follow in the XRP community, at Leo, HADJILOIZOU. Luxembourg Private Equity and Venture Capital Association. XRP is a payment token like Bitcoin, not a security. And this is from his website, xrparcade.com. He's got these articles on there. You ought to go check his website out. And he's got all this other information on there as well. He's got a lot of good stuff. It says that this Luxembourg Private Equity and Venture Capital Association is the representative body of private equity and venture capital professionals in Luxembourg with 170 members. LPEA plays a leading role in the discussion and development of investment framework and actively promotes the industry beyond the country's borders. But right here's where they talk about Ripple and XRP. Payment tokens. Payment tokens are virtual or cryptocurrencies. This is, for instance, the case for Bitcoin or Ripple, meaning XRP. Tokens intended to be used now or in the future as a means of payment for acquiring goods or services, or as a means of money or value transfer. See, now we got some people that are thinking. And then from Leonidas, TCS's Quartz enables banks' payments systems to connect to DLT-based payment infrastructures like RippleNet. Now look at, this is also on his XRParcade.com. This TCS's Quartz enables banks. So this is, the company is TCS. It's an IT services consulting and business solutions organization and has been partnering with many of the world's largest businesses. But this is the part that was interesting. According to a document uploaded recently on their website, the Quartz cross-border remittances solution enables banks' payment systems to connect to the newer DLT-based payment infrastructures like RippleNet for processing of cross-border FX remittance transactions. The Quartz gateway seamlessly connects the TCS BANCS payment system to the blockchain-based payments platform using APIs and supports services related to FX quote finalizations and debit credit of beneficiary accounts. That's exciting stuff right there, folks. And again, I told you yesterday, FX, in the FX, the Forex business across the world, there's like $5 trillion a day that's moved. A day. Okay, from Sergeant Obi-Wan, he sends this. This is a very good, being able to use iPhones and iPads. This is an article that was on AMB Crypto. Ripple Interledger comes together with Coil via the Puma browser. IOV hopes heat up. What they're talking about here is, and they compare it actually. They say Puma Technologies, another San Francisco-based technology company, is behind the Puma browser, curating the browser as a privacy prioritizing platform. The company aims to compete with the likes of Brave browser, which enable the distribution of basic attention token when certain websites are viewed. Well, Coil is getting in the game with this browser. This was a tweet from Coil. You can now take Coil for a spin on iPhones and iPads. Congratulations to Puma browser for building the first iOS browser to support us and Interledger. Folks, this is huge. So go and get your Puma browser on your iPad and your iPhone. These guys, go to @Puma browser if you want to go give them a follow on Twitter, and that'll lead you to their website too. It's pumabrowser.com. And finally, let me show you some real adoption. When you've got a monopoly board, this is from Stefan Nestel @StephToll. Crypto Coinopoly, isn't that cool? This is how you know you're getting adoption, folks. When you start making the monopoly boards, it is on like Donkey Kong. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that cryptocurrency is now on a monopoly board. Thanks for listening.